Christ develops sits down with a Muslim who tries to debate him about God, but the plan backfires when the Muslim realizes that the Quran's been corrupted.
But you, Muhammad, wonder while they mock. And then here is the same verse, Khalaf version. But I, Allah, wonder while they mock. So Muhammad and you, yeah, go for it. If you want to search it up too, that's fine. So those are two different versions with complete different meanings. So there are different meanings.
Can I take a picture of this?
Yeah, go for it, man. So it's not just a matter of like recitations, right? It's complete different words with built different sense.
But before we look at the aftermath, let's look at the events that led up to this incident.
How come you don't just do what Jesus did and pray to the one Almighty God? How come you have to pray to Jesus?
Sure. Well, because I'm not Jesus, though. None of us are Jesus, right?
Okay, but I thought Jesus was sent so you can follow him.
Yeah, yes. Follow him.
Follow him as an example, but not follow him as in worship him. That doesn't make sense.
Well, when we
How
worship,
can you worship the creation.
Sure. Well, when we worship Jesus, we're also worshiping God, right? It's the same thing.
No, it's two different people. He died.
Well, he did die, but he willfully died. But let me ask you a question, okay?
Not three things?
Sure. Let me ask you a question, right? A lot of Muslims believe that God can't come down as creation. Well, God came down as the burning bush.
Burning bush.
In the Quran.
No. That was just. He was speaking, but he spoke to Moses, but he did not. He wasn't actually there. He just spoke to him. That's it.
But he was the fire in the burning bush.
No, he wasn't the fire in the burning bush.
You don't claim so?
No. That was a sign. The burning bush was a sign so that Moses came to the bush and then God spoke to him from there. But the bush wasn't actually God. No.
Okay.
We don't believe God is in His creation. We don't, like Christians believe. I've accepted the Holy Spirit, so God is in me. That doesn't mean no. God is above. Like He is greater than everything. He is the Most High. Yeah. And God cannot be in His creation because that would be in a way degrading. That would defeat the purpose of a God that is limited and mortal. That doesn't make sense.
Don't you think that who are we to put restrictions and limitations on God? God can do whatever He wants. Why can we say God can only be this? He can't come down.
The thing is, then people will say, "Oh, can God create a rock that He can't lift?" God has a nature. You know, God cannot do things that are out of His nature because then that would not make Him God. It's like saying, "Can I make a squared circle?" Yeah. Then logically speaking, that would be impossible. God is God because of the nature of Him. You know what I mean? Like He's Almighty, He's all just, all forgiving, all merciful. This is what God is, the Creator. You know.
But what if my definition of God's nature is different?
It's not what your definition is. It's what God's definition is for Himself.
This is Christianity's definition.
So now, our disagreements come within our holy book text.
Sure.
So we Muslims think that your books have been corrupted and changed over time. However, the Quran has been the same since the beginning of time. But then you Christians say that the Quran came 600 years later after the Bible. So then why do you believe in something later when something came before it? The reason for that is because we don't believe that Muhammad ﷺ was the start of the religion. Yeah. We believe that the religion started all the way at the time of creation, at the time of Adam. Mm-hmm. And Adam was told to worship one God and one God alone, and so were all the prophets that came after. However, people deviated. They started saying, "Oh, let's go to the tree and ask for forgiveness because the tree is a sign," or "let's go to the grave and ask for forgiveness." And then they started going to idol worship and they started going to other things. And that's what happened with the Jews, that they took their rabbis as legislations over God. The Christians, they took Jesus as a legislation over God, and so did all the other.
So I'm just going to answer this, religions. Okay?
So then we Muslims just believe in going directly to
I
get
it.
Worshiping God alone without any partners. And
stuff. Okay. Let me talk. Okay. Yeah. So Allah's words cannot be changed. Correct? Allah's words are true. So Allah sent down the Injil and the Torah before it. Mm-hmm. So nowhere in the Quran does it actually say the Bible's been corrupted. Allah's word, if He created the gospel and His words cannot be changed, the Bible is true, and we have the original manuscripts confirming that. Therefore,
but the Bible has been, the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah.
It was changed.
But we have the manuscripts before that.
Okay, but
that's the difference.
We've had the Quran has never been changed. We have it's an oral tradition. The Quran was memorized, but then you don't
debate that though, because there are different versions of the Quran. There's Hafs, Warsh, Duri. There's actually Uthman burned 12 versions of the Quran. He kept one version. One chapter was eaten by a goat. You can explain this to me.
I can definitely explain this to you. So these different versions of the Quran. Okay, so
but then that doesn't mean it's the same thing I could throw to you. There isn't one version. It's the same thing with Christianity.
These different versions of the Quran aren't different versions. They're different ways they were transmitted because of, how like in Australia they have a different accent.
Yeah.
And in UK they have a different accent. In America they have
What if the word's completely different though?
The word is,
I can give you an example where it is.
The words are exactly the same.
Show you an example?
The words are exactly the same. The meaning is exactly the same. Nothing has changed. Maybe the way you pronounce it has changed.
I get it. I can give you an example where it's different in the Warsh and the Duri version or the Hafs version, where instead of it says you, it'll say I, the prophet. So instead of Allah, it'll say Muhammad, which is very, very different.
The thing is, with these things, you're not reading it in Arabic and understanding in an Arabic context. You're looking at the translation.
Yeah.
And we Muslims don't read the Quran in a translation. We read it purely in Arabic, and it's been transmitted in Arabic since the time of the Prophet.
So do you not trust the scholars then, who like study this for a living, to translate it?
Yeah, no, we as Muslims.
So if I read the English Quran, that means I'm going to hell then. Like I'll never know the true. Like how would I be saved then? Because I don't know Arabic.
That's not it. No, a scholar that knows Arabic will teach you the Quran in a language you understand. You're not reading it in Arabic and understanding in an Arabic context. You're looking at the translation.
Yeah.
And we Muslims don't read the Quran in a translation. We read it purely in Arabic, and it's been transmitted in Arabic since the time of the Prophet.
But you just said you can't do that though.
No, you can. No, what I'm saying is that the English translation of the Quran is not considered the Quran. That's what I mean. And the Quran is only delivered and given in Arabic. So the Quran is only in Arabic. It's not in any other language.
So in this right here, right, this says, this is the Hafs version, 37:12. But you, Muhammad, wonder while they mock. And then here is the same verse, Khalaf version. But I, Allah, wonder while they mock. So Muhammad and you, yeah, go for it. If you want to search it up too, that's fine. So those are two different versions with complete different meanings. So there are different meanings. You don't have to take my word. You can search it up on Google if you want. So there are many of those examples. Can I take a picture of this? Yeah, go for it, man. So it's not just a matter of like recitations, right? It's complete different words that build different sentences.
It is a matter of recitations.
Okay. Sure.
This is my Quran teacher.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be here again?
I'd like to, yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you what day because, like, I don't know, it might be a Wednesday, it could be a Monday.
Again, I'll explain it to you.
Sure.
But the Quran, you see these different 10 qira'at, the translation is completely the same. Like it's this meaning and the translation is exactly the same, and every Muslim, they believe in the same core tenets as each other. Like they don't differ based on different interpretations, and they understand the Quran under the interpretations and explanations of the Prophet.
Okay.
So that's how we interpret the Quran.
Okay.
So there's no different version of the Quran. It's an oral transition. That's how it was explained.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, I've come to realize different.
And there's not a single Christian that's memorized their holy book.
Yeah.
Well, there's hundreds of Muslims that memorize their entire holy book. So you cannot recite a verse and then another Muslim will know the verse and he'll be able to correct you, because every Muslim has memorized at least a portion of the Quran.
Yeah.
And a lot of Muslims have memorized the whole Quran.
Yeah.
So you cannot say the Quran has been changed because it's an oral tradition.
No, I understand.
Even
Yeah.
the Hadith, the same thing, oral tradition.
Yeah.
And that thing where the goat ate the copy of the Quran or whatever, I'm not 100% sure about that. But even if the goat did eat the copy of the Quran is memorized in our
So what about
minds.
What about Uthman burning the other 12 Qurans, the different versions, and him only creating one Quran?
Oh yes, the Uthmani. Okay, so I don't know about burning, but he made Uthmani script, which means it's just a way. He just wrote it down. So he wrote down it was written down before him,
Yep.
but he just wrote it down and compiled it into one book with the companions.
Because there, from what I know, there were 13 different Qurans, and he burned 12 of them and said, you know what, this is the only one that we're going to have.
No.
Which means there were different versions.
There weren't different versions because it was an oral tradition. It's all the same exact Quran.
So yeah, dude, definitely go research the different versions, the Hafs, the Warsh, the Duri, to name three, the different dialects, which mean different words, and yeah, you can come back, man. We'll chat again. But from what I know, like the Quran has been very tainted.
No, but
just
the Bible has
even
been,
more than the Bible.
No.
The Bible actually
has been completely tainted. You guys, like for example, what was that thing? The king that was born on a different
yeah, you're talking about Isaiah. Yeah, so he actually ruled twice. That's been debunked. He ruled at 22 and 42. So he was captured by the Philistines, was in prison, he came back out. So all these have been debunked. The Bible, we have the original manuscripts, these are the Dead Sea Scrolls found in the 40s that confirm what we have. Which one?
The one where
yeah, Judas hung himself, or then the other one where he fell. Yeah, so what the scholars say is that he hung himself and he was gagging, and he essentially got out, he fell, bursted his guts.
Okay.
I mean, you can search this up, man, but just don't believe like, yo, you see one thing, therefore that's it. Like, same with me in the Quran, I have to keep searching, right? And I'm still learning, man, but...
I recommend you read the Quran. Have you read the Quran?
I do have the Quran. I haven't read the entire thing, no, but
You should read the whole thing. I think it'd be good for you.
Yeah, same with you in the Bible. We'll both do it.
Alright, that's
Okay, man. All right. We'll finish there, okay? God bless. Cheers.
Now, there's a lot that we can touch on here and unpack in this interview, but something very important that I want to focus on is the common misconception that some Muslims have that the Quran says that the Bible's been corrupted. If we look more closely at the Quran, we will see that it explicitly mentions that the Torah and the Gospel were given by God. In Surah 3:3, it says, "He has sent down upon you, O Muhammad, the book in truth, confirming what was before it, and he revealed the Torah and the Gospel." The Quran also clearly has this sort of respect for the previous prophets and at least acknowledges the scriptures that have been given to them. In Surah 5:46, it says, "And we sent following in their footsteps Jesus the son of Mary, confirming that which came before him in the Torah. We gave him the gospel, and which was guidance and light, and confirming that which preceded it of the Torah as guidance and instruction for the righteous." But to the Muslims' credit, there are some situations in the Quran where it explicitly mentions that there are people who are manipulating or mistranslating the text of the Bible. In Surah 378, it says, "And there is indeed a group among them who twist their tongues with the book, that you may suppose it be from the book, but it is not from the book. And they say it is from God, though it is not from God. And they knowingly speak a lie against God." And the verse that most Muslims use to say that the Bible's been corrupted, and it says in the Quran, is Surah 279, which says, "So woe unto those who write the book with their hands, then say, this is from God, that they may sell it for a paltry price. So woe unto them for what their hands have written, and woe unto them for what they earn." But this verse is specifically talking about the people who are trying to use and mistranslate and corrupt the text for their own purposes, but it's not actually specifically talking about the original revelation of the Gospels and the Torah given by Allah. If anything, it looks like the Quran affirms the authority of the Bible. In Surah 5:47, it says, "Let the people of the Gospel, which are the Christians, judge by what God has sent down therein. Whosoever judges not by that which God has sent down, it is they who are iniquitous." In this verse here, it assumes that the gospel is reliable and it expects Christians to follow it as authoritative. So nowhere in the Quran does it even imply that the original text of the Bible has been corrupted. In fact, that idea is something that was just introduced later when it was implemented in the Muslims' hadith and not in the Quran. It says, "O community of Muslims, how is it that you seek wisdom from the people of the book? Your book, brought down upon his prophet, blessings and peace be upon him, is the latest report about God. You read a book that has not been distorted, but the people of the book, as God related to you, exchange that which God wrote, changing the book with their hands." Now, this claim in the hadith here, I believe that the evidence suggests that it is incorrect, that the Bible has not been corrupted over time. I'm going to link another video up here, and it's New Testament scholar Daniel Wallace, and he did a really deep dive of the original Greek and Hebrew and Coptic manuscripts of the Bible and runs tests to see if they've been corrupted. And I'll just give you a quick summary, but I highly recommend you check that video out. He found that, yes, there are variations in the text. Some words may be a little bit different. The grammar may be a little bit different, but when it comes down to the core tenets of Christianity, not a single one has been changed in meaning all the way going back to the Dead Sea Scrolls or these other early manuscripts. So for that reason, I believe that the Bible is trustworthy. And as we've seen in this video, there seems to be some sort of errors in the Quran too. But again, I highly recommend you check out the video I'm linking on screen. It is going to really help you with this discussion here. I don't know if you're a Muslim trying to find the truth, or you're a Christian trying to defend your faith, or if you're just a skeptic trying to figure this all out. Welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.